people. So let's talk about Twitter. Twitter had a bad day yesterday. Maybe the worst day of their career. Twitter did not have a good day yesterday. It's a kind of a day that you're giving the government the opportunity to come after you. And it won't be pretty. You're making it easy for them. So here's what happened yesterday. A story came out from New York Post about Hunter Biden, and I'm going to kind of give the details about the Hunter Biden story.
Yeah, Wednesday.
And then from there, it came out Wednesday. Today's Friday. It came out Wednesday. And then we'll go into how Twitter handled this. So Hunter Biden received a $3.5 million wire transfer from Alina Baturina. This is the story in New York Post, the fourth largest publication in America, newspaper, fourth largest. The richest woman in Russia, who is Elena, gave Biden $3.5 million, who's the widow of Yuri Lozovkov, the former mayor of Moscow. Senate Republicans revealed in their report on the younger Biden's work in Ukraine. Baturina is referenced in the 87-page report, which was released Wednesday, addressing her payment to Biden's investment firm in early 2014. Baturina became Russia's only female billionaire when her plastics company Inteco received a series of Moscow municipal contracts while her husband was mayor. It is said in providing background on the businesswoman, meaning she worked the government to make more money. Her and her husband did together. The report described her involvement with Biden as a financial relationship, but declined to delve deeper into why the wire transfer was made. The probe was found that Baturina sent 11 wire transfers between May and December of 2015 to a bank account belonging to BAK USA, tech startup that filed bankruptcy in March of 2019. Hunter Biden position with Baturina's natural gas firm, which paid him as much as $50K a month, created an immediate potential conflict of interest because his dad, now President Trump's Democratic opponent in November 3rd election, was involved in the U.S. policy toward Ukraine, the report says. And then it continues to say, the 87-page report notes two American officials, George Kent, former active duty chief of mission at the U.S. Embassy in Kiev, and senior department officials Amos Hochstein raised concerns to Biden's staff directed to Biden, respectively. Despite the effort of these individuals, this appears to have fallen on deaf ears. The report notes that Joe Biden's staff received, not publicly accused, but Burisma owner Makola of corruption, even though he allegedly paid a $7 million bribe to avoid prosecution. And former Assistant Secretary of State of European and Eurasian Affairs Victoria Nuland testified that confronting oligarchs would send an anti-corruption message in Ukraine. And then it continues in 2014, the $3.5 million bank held under Rosemont Cement Thornton, an investment firm co-founded by Hunter Biden, report says. And then there was another 11 wires, more than $390,000, $240,000, a bunch of other things that came out of this story. Pictures came out yesterday of Hunter Biden with the pipe next to him. And then Donald Trump Jr. came out with a video yesterday that went viral. So that story comes out, and Twitter knows about it. On Twitter, if you went to share this story, your friend, the lady who you think is pretty, can you pronounce her name for us?
Kayleigh McEnany.
Kayleigh McEnany posts this. A new email from Ukraine executive to Hunter Biden asked Hunter to use his influence on behalf of the firm, paying him $50,000 a month. An email with subject urgent issue obtained by New York Post father Joe Biden was in charge of Ukraine relations at the time. October 14, 2020, that is 2 days ago. This was taken down, and not only was it taken down, her account was locked. Twitter has locked the personal account of White House press secretary for sharing news Democrats don't like. This is what happened yesterday, right? So everybody that tried to share the story yesterday on Twitter, Twitter wouldn't allow it. They wouldn't allow it. Back to back to back to back to back, they wouldn't allow it, okay? So finally, the Senate came out to subpoena Jack Dorsey over blocking of disputed Biden article moved by GOP lawmakers on judiciary committees, follow social media platforms. Anyways, they went after him. This is election interference. We are 19 days out of election. Never before have we had seen active censorship of a major press publication with serious allegations of corruption on one or two candidates for president. Never. They allowed the Russia article. Nobody ever stopped any Russia tweets, even though all of it was allegations. None of it was true. Twitter did this yesterday. Then finally, Jack Dorsey comes out and said, we made a mistake. But at that point, it was too late. Yeah. Your thoughts. I'll let you go first.
Well, this is going to be very interesting. They're in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
The Republicans control the Senate. They are going to get him in front to testify. They also locked the New York Post's account as well. They literally locked New York Post's ability to send out more tweets. This thing has legs. The story is that Hunter Biden, brought his computer in for repair, never picked it up. They backed everything up. They called the FBI. Rudy Giuliani saying we've heard 5%. We know about 5% of what's really on that. And, Giuliani used to be a prosecutor for the federal government, took down the mafia. So he's all over this for the last 5 months. It's time for these guys to face some really tough questions about something like this and get to the bottom of it. And, a little innocent thing they thought they were doing on Wednesday by blocking this thing could come back and really, really, do some serious damage, because social media is a harmful thing. And it's about time we start peeling back the onion a little bit and figure out what's going on with some of these decisions.
Adam, what do you think?
Get it all out. Get it all out. I'm surprised there aren't more stories and they didn't happen sooner. A, how much of this is true? Just a general question. B, let's not pretend that Trump and his kids are completely innocent. Breaking news, everybody. Politicians do shady shit. Breaking news. Hunter Biden might be a scumbag. Is that going to stop you from voting left, voting right? Who knows? Get it all out. I don't know. I haven't really followed Hunter Biden, but anything I've heard about the guy is not a good dude.
Scumbag Hall of Fame. If you watch that Donald Trump Jr. video and he points things out, unbelievable.
Some of the stuff is pretty dirty, by the way. He got a porn star pregnant and says, no, it wasn't me.
Didn't pay child support.
And then they did a DNA testing and ended up being him. And then his brother dies and he gets together with the brother's wife, which, then you're doing drugs and prostitutes in Russia, and half the money that you bring in, apparently they got to pay to Joe Biden. Look, all these stories coming out like Joe Biden, is any money you make of me being in politics, anything you make that's side deals, you got to pay me half of it, right? Let's just say
that's some mafia shit, right?
But let's just say the following. Let's just say the following. You ready? Okay. Say you and I, your girl says you're on your phone at night, okay, and you think she's asleep, and you're texting somebody. She says, "Who are you texting?" So, "Oh, nobody, just a friend." "Let me see the phone." If you say what? No. What do you mean's going on?
Buddy,
you're probably texting somebody you shouldn't be texting. You understand what I'm saying? Give me the phone. No. Why you want to see my phone? You never trust me.
I've never had this conversation.
Exactly, right?
I don't know what you're talking about.
So the point I'm trying to make to you is right there, you're already guilty. Okay. So there's a story coming out about Hunter Biden and the fact that Joe Biden did this. No, don't share the story. No. Dude, you screwed up. You should have let the story come out and say, oh, it's just another one of those stories. The fact that you didn't let the story come out, you know what it tells the world? That all of it is right.
The cover-up.
Who
It's always
didn't
worse than
let
the
the
crime.
story
First
come
of
out?
all,
Twitter
well, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Who tells Twitter don't let the story come out?
You tell me. I don't know.
You tell me.
Are you saying that it's political?
I'll tell you.
Why would they not post
I'll
the
tell
story?
you.
Who cares?
The Biden campaign.
Who cares? Why would you not let the story come out? Who cares? Remember, Twitter just has new guidelines. Why did it come out with new guidelines? Right before elections, you're coming out with new guidelines that only last during the last 2 weeks of guidelines. Why'd you come out with the new guidelines? Because Twitter helps which president, Trump or Biden? Trump. So now you come out with two guidelines that's only going to last during the election. You're going to get away with these guidelines after the election. Who are you trying to help? Who's calling who? Who is calling who? Who's calling who when they're using this? Obama said Mark's a good friend of mine when he was running for office. Why is it that Mark Zuckerberg gives his best advertising guy to Pete Buttigieg? And then Pete blew up. Pete's going to be a future rock star because he had Mark on his side. You get a Mark or a Jack Dorsey nowadays on your side, or the guys at Google, this is a big benefit. So who called them to say don't let the story be shared? And if who didn't, let's just, again, everything here is what? Speculation. Everything here is speculation. But if you got nothing to hide, again, it goes back to strategy for me. If you care so much about a story coming out, guess what? It's true. Versus the way you do this is what? Let it come out. And yesterday, even if it was brought up, it's a non-issue. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, and
it's
especially now, there's always going to be a next story where those things can be in your rearview mirror very, very quickly.
No, not smart.
Or, just devil's advocate here. I don't know Hunter Biden from nothing. Or could it just not be true, and you're saying do not put fake news out there?
Oh, buddy, stop.
You're saying that there's 100% chance.
You're seriously that naive, Adam.
Dude, wire
are you
transfers
seriously
don't lie.
that naive?
Again, I put it out there. How much of this is true? 20% of it? 50% of it? 100%
By the
of
way,
it?
let me
How much of this do you think is true?
Let me ask you a question. What did I say when Donald Trump Jr.'s girlfriend, Gavin Newsom's former wife, gave the talk at the RNC convention? What did I say?
She was on coke.
I said she's on something. It could be
Speed.
5 Hour Energy. It could be Red Bull.
okay.
It's on something. You don't talk like that. So this isn't for me like I am taking sides, dude. This isn't like, oh, here's what's going on. No. When you want a story like this to be hidden, you're scared of something. When you have 33,000 emails that you want to delete, you're hiding something. Why are you hiding it? Why are you hiding? By the way, I'll give you the other one to make this very simple for you. Trump doesn't want to show his tax returns. Guess what? You're hiding something.
There's a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
this isn't a left or right. I'm not sitting here just saying, if Trump doesn't want to show his tax returns, I guarantee you there's something the world's going to say, damn, this guy pays nothing.
Yeah.
There's something there.
He's the only guy hoping this audit lasts forever, right? He's loving it.
As soon as the audit's done,
Hey,
the audit
yeah.
is going
Let me
on
say
for
this,
7
though.
years
Again,
now.
I'm telling you, I
yeah.
agree with you that
You scoffed at this idea when I said it 20 minutes ago before the mariachi ban, but okay, if 5% of what's out there has come out, and that means 95%, and there's stuff coming out that doesn't make Joe Biden look good, and no one knew this. For 47 years, no one knew this about him. If more of this gets revealed, it plays into my theory that I don't know if he really wants to be president. I mean, if he really ultimately wants everything that goes along with this. I mean, it could get ugly. I mean, do you think the New York Post is backing down? I mean, there'll be more stories this weekend.